Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel for another Secret Base figure preview video. Now before we begin, as always, I have to say a huge thank you to Ryan Kirkwood for going out in person and snapping these glorious high-res pictures. Show Ryan some love in the comments below, because without him, this series quite literally wouldn't be possible. If you are looking to pre-order your very own Hot Toys Kang the Conqueror, he is available with toyswonderland.com. They do have pay in 4 options and a reward system. While you're down there, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon and join button so you're notified as soon as a brand new review goes live on the channel. Now if you'd asked me when the movie was premiering, are Hot Toys going to make a Kang, I would have said, yeah. Absolutely, he's going to be very important to the MCU going forward, how could they not? But then I saw the film. I didn't love the film, so I thought that Hot Toys, they would just wait it out and they'd make a Kang sometime down the line eventually. Luckily though, in this instance, I'm glad to be wrong, because Kang, Jonathan Majors in the role, he absolutely killed it. He was 100% the best part of that movie, I don't care what anyone else says. So yeah, I'm more than happy to add this guy to the collection. Now he does come with multiple head sculpts and moving eyes. Hot Toys, yes, please continue to make moving eyes a thing with every figure going forward, because it just adds so much more versatility. Speaking of versatility, he doesn't come with a ton of accessories. He comes with some hands painted in purple to match the rest of his armor. You get closed fists, open palm hands, and then the effect accessory hands, but I would have liked to have seen maybe some more. I don't exactly know what else, maybe pointing or thumbs up, just gestures, give us more options, because these hands, they're super unique. It's not like you can go and get other hands from another figure and pop them on Kang. Alright, head sculpt time. This is one of the 2 head sculpts, and I love this one. Now, it's kind of like a blue face shield slash helmet slash mask type of thing. You have to see the movie and you'll know exactly what I mean, but the blue, there's even skin texture behind it. And currently this is displayed without the lights on. I love when they use this frosted white plastic, because light passes through and it does light up, including the lines on his face, but when you don't have the lights on, which you're probably going to do most of the time in the collection, because button cell batteries don't really last super long, it actually still looks like it's lit up, so it's the best of both worlds, and they have delivered the goods with this head sculpt. So from a technical perspective, a ton of ticks across the board. I'm super happy, but does it look like Jonathan Majors as Kang? That is the big question. I see the likeness. I mean, that picture right there looking slightly down, he looks mean as hell. I am pretty curious to see how it swaps onto the neck connector though, because a little piece of neck armor is pre-attached to the head sculpt. Will his articulation be limited? We'll have to wait and see. I loathe this display base. Y'all have heard me say a ton of times that I hate the diamond display base, and I still do. It's far too big, there's a point at pretty much every corner that matters, the front is flat, but you can't have figures butted up against him on the side, and you can't have it butted up against the back of the display case. It takes up way too much room, and it doesn't need to. They very clearly could have gone with the hexagonal style display base, because they did with much bigger and bulkier and heavier figures like die-cast Iron Man. I know, he hovers, he floats on this blue disc, but still, they could have gone with a smaller display base and it would have worked just as well. Speaking of the blue disc, however, it's literally just a circular blue piece of translucent plastic, and some people have said it doesn't look fantastic. I'm right there with you, I would have liked some paint on it, but I love the way it connects to the feet, and I'm pretty curious to see how it actually does that. Does it peg in? Is it magnets? Once again, a question for when this guy actually releases. Now the outfit here is super classic comic book Kang, so even if his future appearances are even better than what we saw in Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, I don't care, I'm more than happy to add this guy to the collection. There's metallic green. There's metallic purple, there are sculpted pieces, and there are a ton of little intricate bits and pieces on the outfit, the actual fabric itself. There's this kind of motherboard style tech pattern printed all over the entire thing, and there's still metallic purple for the panels on the actual fabric. Which does mean that it's that typical Hot Toys superhero style material, that waxy kind of rubbery style fabric with the various screen printed details over the top. so you will have to be a little bit more careful when it comes to posing. When you bend the limbs, when you get him into dynamic poses, it could potentially stick to itself, or crease, or even tear and just generally look bad over time. Sometimes this material stretches, think Hot Toys Tech Suit Spidey, specifically the blue sections, kinda looks like that style of fabric. The best way I'd describe Kang's outfit is layered. We have multiple different layers here. He does have this skirt piece, then over the top of the skirt, it kinda looks like the shirt thing he's wearing is dangling down past his belt. But I have no complaints with the way this outfit looks. Like I said already, it's super comic booky. Now the belt, also metallic purple, and it does look like a separate piece, and it's made of rubbery plastic. I am pretty interested to find out how it connects up to the collar, because as you can see, it looks a little bit disjointed, like it's slightly out of alignment, because it does look like multiple smaller pieces that somehow are connected together, and I reckon that's the best way of doing it, because if this was one solid piece of rubbery plastic, then posability, it might be an issue. But having multiple individual pieces connected, maybe with some fabric glued behind them, that means they should be able to twist and turn just a little bit more, like you're seeing on display. He also has this massive metallic purple collar, and there is so much to look at here. We've got the motherboard pattern on the actual green parts of the suit, and they look like they've got a bit of a silver tint over the top, so when the light hits it, they pop a treat. And then for the armor pieces, a ton of tech detail on the surface, and I cannot get over how good that metallic purple looks. And as we discussed earlier, effect pieces. Now they do kind of look eerily familiar, and that's because I think we've seen them before. They look just like the effect pieces that we saw with Captain Marvel, meaning they're made of this semi-rigid rubbery plastic, and there's a ton of movement to them. They've got these big circles around the base, and they do thin out towards the top, like an energy blast should. I would have absolutely been over the moon with even more effect pieces though, because just including two, I kind of feel shortchanged, because he was blasting folks left and right in that movie, and his blasts, they were pretty freaking big, whereas these, they're kind of tiny. They almost look like the aftermath of a blast, like he's let loose this massive explosion, and then this is kind of like the little smoke that trickles out of his suit after he's done said explosion. Don't get me wrong though, effect pieces, they're always a worthy inclusion. Speaking of worthy inclusions, a secondary head sculpt, and this head sculpt might even be a little bit better than the blue one. The blue one is awesome, don't get me wrong, it looks just like Jonathan Majors as Kang, but so does this one. I mean, the expression, the way they've sculpted the hair, the frown lines with the wrinkles, the crow's feet, and even the scarring, it looks super real. Now, some people have said that the hair looks a touch soft, and okay, I can see that, but there is still texture to it, and it looks like hair. The hairstyle looks accurate to me. Although, people do have a reason to be worried, because if it looks soft now, and then they do the whole molding and casting process, and the final product looks even softer, then yes, we could potentially have an issue, but Hot Toys, they've got time to fix this and add more texture if they absolutely need to. Plus, he's got moving eyes, so with that fierce expression with the furrowed brow, you can move the eyes around and alter the expression. You can have him looking up, like he's mean and angry and he's gonna kick your butt, which he absolutely could, or even looking down at figures in the collection, because you can give him a ton of height with that flight stand. You can have him standing on the hovering disc looking down at Ant-Man and the Wasp, and that will be a really powerful display. I'm actually getting super excited thinking about all the display options. Let me know what you think about Kang, which head sculpt you're going to go with. Do you like the moving eyes? How would you position them? Down in the comment section below. But this figure is way better than I was expecting it to be. I thought, okay, Hot Toys, they might just do the blue head sculpt and skip out on the unmasked Kang head sculpt, but I'm really glad they didn't, and this just tells me that this could potentially be the ultimate Kang for a really long time, because even when Kang Dynasty eventually comes out, it could be multiple years after that film releases that we see another Kang figure. So for now, or I should say next year or the year after when this guy releases, he's going to be the Kang to have for a lot of people for quite some time. Oh, and very quickly, I forgot to mention earlier, but yes, his cape is wide. You can see it plain as day here. He's floating in midair and his cape is billowing off and doing its own thing. It looks like double ply fabric, more satin on the inside with that sort of tech pattern on the surface, and some purple lining around the edges, and probably on the surface on the outside of the cape as well. So overall, am I happy? Heck yeah, I am. I want this guy in the collection stat. Now, I pre-ordered mine from toyswonderland.com. Link for that is in the description below. They do have installment plans and a reward system. While you're down there, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button if you like the sound of seeing your name in the end credits of my reviews. Like, comment, and subscribe. We'll catch you in the next video.